What's up, everyone? It is Friday, if you're watching this live. Welcome to the Weekly Chatter Live. I'm your host, Joshua Harrell from Travel Quest Network, and this is how we do Fridays over at Travel Quest Network. We like to end it off with just a whole lot of fun, some laughter, some information, and just let's say goodbye to the week and hello to the weekend. Um, if this is your first time joining us, of course, welcome, a very, very warm welcome, not only from me, but from all of the members of Travel Quest Network who are joining us live in our members only Facebook group. So if you are in the members only Facebook group, chat with us, ask questions, share your wins, share your challenges, whatever you want to talk about. The chat is available for you, and I'll be monitoring that as we go along. Now, I'm not your only host for the show. We've got a couple of co-hosts that are going to be joining me. I've got Jason Block, the CEO of Travel Quest Network, and I've got Velma Tollison, who is our groups manager and pro coach. She's going to come in a little bit. And behind the scenes is Britta, who is our producer for today's show. So if anything looks really cool, just give props to Britta. So how's that? I like that. All right. And if you are not a member of Travel Quest Network, hey, think about it. Go to travelquestnetwork.com to find out more. We'd love to talk to you. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm sure you're going to have a grand time and leave happier and more knowledgeable. How about that? That's the promise for today's show. Now I'm going to pop over to the chat and see what's going on. Don't leave me hanging, guys. Let's have a good old-fashioned chin wag in the chat. Oh my goodness, lots of. I gotta get the glasses going here. Let's see. So I asked in the chat before we got started. I said, "What's up, everyone?" Katie joins and says, Bookings are up and on fire, and I am here for it. All caps. Uh, Fantastic, Katie. So happy to hear it. Let's see. Good afternoon, Joshua, Andy. Good to see you. Cynthia from Birmingham. Hello, all. Happy Friday. Hannah, happy Friday, all. Oh, I love familiar faces. I love seeing the familiar faces. Cynthia said, my win this week was finishing bulking up my agent profiler. Hey guys, you know that the agent profiler program, the lead generation program that you have access to as a member of Travel Quest Network is powerful. You know we've been talking about it a lot. There's a lot of cool things going on with it, but more importantly, we have our agent profiler workshop that Cynthia, I know, took part of because she told me, why do I need additional bios in my agent profiler? And she has bulked up that profile to be quite meaty. So super proud of you, Cynthia, and congratulations on that. I'm so proud of you. Our Amy has joined us, who is oftentimes in the agent profiler workshop. She says, happy Friday. Rebecca, happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Always good to see you, Rebecca. Once was in Washington, now is in Florida. So we've been following her journey through the weekly chatter as well. Let's see here. Kara, hi from Kid Pickup Lane in Chile, Minnesota. Kara, always a pleasure to see you. Jen, happy Friday, everyone. Oh my goodness, just all that the happiness and joy. That is definitely very Travel Quest Network. Alan joins us. Happy Friday. Alan was just in our last agent profiler workshop, and he went from, get this, so please give him, if you can smash down the hearts right now, you got to give it up for Alan. He went from unpublished last Thursday, or the Thursday before last, to published and super agent status as of this Thursday. And actually he did it before the second workshop class. So very, very proud of you, Alan. I truly mean that because I know you did a lot of work and you did it in quick time. All right, let's see here. Amanda, happy Friday. Let's see. Oh, I'm hearing different sounds in my ear. Let's see here. Stacy said, "Happy Friday, TQ fam from Atlanta." Stacy, good to see you again. Oh, hi, TQ friends coming from Tyson. Love you back, man. I think we're gonna be hearing from you pretty soon. Let's see. Elena, I believe it is Elena. We are loving booking groups. That is fantastic to hear. And the fact that Velma is head of our groups department, and she's going to be on in a little bit. I know she's probably listening right now, and she's very, very excited. When I get to later on in the show, I'm going to talk about the events that we have coming up next week. We have some content around groups that Elena, you might want to check out. Alan said, "Staying super busy and finished Super Agent." Yep, I kind of gave away your surprise there, Alan. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. Rebecca, "Win. Just got another group trip for Belize with a very large budget." What is this? It's just like falling from the sky, Rebecca. I feel like I've heard this story from you recently. Just money falling from the sky. That's wonderful. Let's see. Challenge. "Trying to get my office all set up and working the way I want it after I move, playing lots of catch up." Isn't that always the way? When I lived in apartments, I would try to move every once in a while, right? Because you got to mix it up a little bit. But it's very exciting to move. However, there's all that setup because you want to start out on the right foot. All the things that you didn't like about the last place you lived in, you want to set it up so you can, have your mojo in place. Rebecca, knowing you, I feel like it's not going to take very long. So hang in there. We are rooting for you, but congratulations on that inquiry. Um, Let's see here. Getting a lot of congrats for Alan. Jen said, "I'm excited to be in the Agent Profiler workshop on November 10th." Jen, thank you for scheduling that time out and being a part of it. I know you're going to get a lot out of it, and you get to meet Tatiana, who is our new specialist that is working specifically on programs like Agent Profiler, the tools that you need to help you be more profitable and get more customers. All right, so Sarah said, "Happy Friday, getting ready for Amsterdam, leaves tomorrow." Sarah is joining Jason and Steven and Bonnie from our team, as well as a bunch of our members, including a bunch of our favorite travel partners, for the Diamond Voyage that's setting sail on Avalon next week. So, or this week. Yeah, next week. You know what I mean. It's happening. They're going. And Daniela said, "Happy Friday." Daniela, always good to see you. Oh man, guys, you guys are you're just so supportive. Isn't that great? And I think the person who's chiming in from, it says Travel Quest Network. I think that is Angela. I think she's signed in as Travel Quest Network because Travel Quest Network right now is not in Iowa. But she said happy Friday from Iowa, everyone. So anyway, Angela, I'm glad you tuned in. All right. Oh, and before I scoot on, Andy said my win was having a client in destination promoting me through her social media account. One of her friends saw the promotion, contacted me, and booked a last minute trip within 2 days to Cabo. This was my first real luxury client. She leaves tomorrow. Andy, how can we break that story down? Your client was just out of her own volition promoting you while on holiday. You end up getting a new customer and it closes that fast. That is a fantastic story. So you gotta too often we look at marketing in a linear way. Like I do this and this happens. I do this and this happens. No, it's omnidirectional. You just have to make sure that you're known for something, And that does inspire people to promote you, just like your client. I love it. Congratulations, Andy. Super, super proud of you. All right. So moving right along, keep the chat going. Ask your questions, cue things up for me because we started this new segment a few weeks back where Jason, our CEO, interviews one of our members. In particular, we've been focused on some of our Questy Award winners, which is our annual recognition award program. And I love the Questy Awards. So we wanted to kind of each week bring you one of those Questy Award winners so they could share their story. And maybe you can get inspired by them. Maybe you can have an aha moment that maybe you apply to your business, or as is with Travel Quest Network, you just make a connection with one of our members that is a lasting relationship. So I don't want to. I feel like I'm getting all lovey right now. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Am I too lovey? Do I need to turn? Am I on a level 7 of love? Do I need to come back to a 3? You tell me. All right. So right now, I think Jason is all queued up with a special guest who I'm not going to give it away. So Britta, are you ready to send us over to Jason?
Hey, thanks. Okay, this week we have another guest on the Weekly Chatter, and I'm really excited for you to meet this week's guests. And so let's bring them in. Here we go.
Hi.
And there he is, Tyson Lorton from Sioux Empire Travel. Tyson, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's so good to have you. I haven't seen you in a couple months, I think. So this is great that we get to catch up here and talk to everybody else at the same time.
Absolutely. Hi, TQ.
So tell us a little bit about Sioux Empire Travel.
Sure. So I started a community-based travel agency here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, June of 2017. And my wife was a travel agent for about 5 years. And while she was a travel agent, I got to experience everything with her and loved everything about it. And I thought, while she was doing it, I had a business mindset. I was running a child care center and wanted to own my own business. And I thought, well, why don't they do this? And why don't they do that? And just like things that she was complaining about, I was like, well, yeah, why do they do it that way? And so when she had a falling out with her boss, I said, well, why don't we just book people's travel and actually have, customer service, name it after the community, be out in the community and do stuff. And she's like, yeah, that's a great idea. And so I started with Sioux Empire Travel. I named it after our Sioux Empire community, which is like the lower part of the corner of South Dakota that connects with Minnesota and all that. And then she got a cease and desist letter from her boss.
Oh, no.
I heard you're doing this. You can't do it. And you won't do it. And I had a lawyer draw something up that said Tyson Lorton has never signed a thing, and he is doing this. And please don't talk to my client anymore. So I like to say part of it was out of spite because, man, when you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it so hard. And that on top of I wanted to own my own business. Childcare I could see was not for me anymore. And I really loved traveling with my wife. And so I thought, well, I could do this. So I did it at the same time as running a childcare center. And it just kind of gradually started to take off. And then my wife got a new career. And then it was just me learning everything. But TQ,
hey, where'd you go?
And TQ had my back through the whole thing. And I just started learning. And by September of 2019, I was like, I can leave. I can get out of the childcare industry and go full time into this. So September of 2019 was great, and then 2020 came along, and then we all know about that. So
yeah, that's fantastic. What a story. So it's been about 5 years now since you first started.
Yep.
And the last few full time. That is great, and I'm glad you mentioned your community focus, and I've mentioned your agency and you a few times on other calls, because we talk a lot about selecting a niche, and oftentimes the first thing we think about is, okay, that means a product or a destination, and we forget that, okay, sometimes the niche is who your clientele is, and in your case, your clientele is your community, and that's how you focused your agency and your efforts. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And because it's different than saying, "Hey, I'm a cruise agency," or "Hey, I'm just focusing on the Caribbean." Tell us how your approach in your community, how you look at that.
Sure. So I've always been in the community, no matter what I was doing. So when I was in childcare, I was in a bunch of early childhood like organizations and president of this and blah 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 blah. And I just wanted to dive deep into what I do, and so I'm a real big proponent on small business and nonprofits. And so I had helped my nonprofit here in town called SuperCon do the only convention in South Dakota. And I was already helping a couple other organizations, and I wanted that to bleed into my business. So I made that part of my goal was community outreach. So whether that means being at every community event that I can afford or get my hands on, I would be at, not just the one wedding show that travel agents like to do.
Right.
So I did beer festivals, and I did sports games, and I did, pride festivals, and everywhere everybody needs to travel. And then on top of that, I wanted to give back. So I would fly guests in for the nonprofit for SuperCon. So I just flew in, actually, Jim Beaver from Supernatural. Like that's great stuff. Like I get to meet these celebrities and do all that, but I donate all my time.
Oh, cool.
I also get that exposure, and a booth space. And so then I said, well, this is great. I'm getting traction off this. And Make-A-Wish had heard of me. And so Make-A-Wish was like, hey, we want to meet because whoever we're booking our flights with is not doing a great job. And I said, well, absolutely. And my wife, her brother had a wish. He had childhood leukemia. And so she always had a spot for Make-A-Wish, and I always have too. And so I said, I'll do it for free. I'll book all your flights. You just advertise me as your partner. They're like, absolutely. And it's only been like 6 months, but we had this amazing partnership. And so even if like my time is money, but it's also like, so is your appearance in the community and what you're doing. And people like to be invested in people who are invested in the community and in things that are going on. So that's kind of what I've made my company's niche after.
So you mentioned, the bridal show or the honeymoon show, the obvious kinds of community events that travel advisors, latch onto, but you've looked well past that. Is there any kind of, community event? So if someone was thinking about, maybe my niche could be being, focusing on clientele in my community and really deepening that community relationship, are there kinds of events that or opportunities for marketing that you've come across that you said, maybe that's not the right thing?
Yes. So we do like a beer tasting festival every year. And I thought, well, I sell all-inclusive resorts. People love to drink. That's perfect. And I would say the first 2 hours of the 3-hour beer festival were fine. I got to talk to people. The last hour, it's one, a waste of time, and two, people didn't remember talking to me the first 2 hours of that. I had guys trying to steal a bottle of tequila I was giving away for a raffle off my thing. I mean, it's like, it just, those types I've learned, okay, this isn't worth the $500 booth rental. But I've also I'll try out booths anytime and know if it's a failure that first time, whether it costs me, well, I won't do over like $600 booths rentals because those wedding ones are expensive, but I've gotten booth rentals for $30. I've gotten free booth rentals at golf courses just because I said, hey, I'm willing to come out there and give out Jello shots, like
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do,
So a little bit of booze is okay. Too much booze, not good.
Exactly.
All right, we can put that in the manual, the rule book. So okay, so your clientele largely, no, maybe it's almost exclusively in your community. What are the kinds of products though that your agency likes to focus on, and is there any particular reason why?
Yeah, me personally, I love all-inclusive resorts. So I specialize in all-inclusives in Mexico and the Caribbean. But my kind of outlook and dream is for Sioux Empire Travel to be the community leader in travel, which means that they have agents in different sections of the state. And so right now I have a European expert that's with me and TQ, and she's doing great. And then I am looking to expand. I would like 2 to 3 more agents to give my name because I'm drowning a little bit. But I would like a Disney expert. I would like a cruise expert. And then I get Sioux Empire Travel gets the leads, and then I just hand them out. So I'm running the business. I have my own clientele, but I'm also giving Sioux Empire Travel clients the best agent for their experience that they need. So that's my.
I think that's great, Tyson. And I think it's important for everyone to hear. I mean, what you're building is the traditional full service agency, and I think and you're really successful at doing it. And I think it's important to note that while individual advisors can be wildly successful in a very specific niche, you can also go down the path of building a full service agency and see terrific success and maybe have bigger upside down the road because it is more scalable beyond yourself. It is kind of you're talking about. So I think it's important for everyone that's watching to hear your story and how you're approaching it, because sometimes we think that the traditional agency is no more, and it's not necessarily true.
Right. Yeah, it does depend on your area. And I don't live in a big city, but I do talk to people, that a lot of good TQ agents that live in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, it's where there's more competition, it's harder for sure. And the reason I found what I was doing is because there was 2 or 3 storefronts in my area, and they were all doing a terrible job. So I kind of had a break. It's easy when nobody else is doing a good job to get in there and do it. But I'm sure big cities, you have more competition. So
yeah, and I think for those of you listening, I would agree with that. Those smaller markets, that strategy can work really, really well. It is tougher in a big major metro where customers tend to care a little less about shopping local, doing business with local businesses. So let's shift gears. So tell us a little bit about you outside of travel.
Oh, geez.
Is there such a thing anymore?
No. Yeah, I'm a huge pro wrestling nerd. I love it. I actually bring pro wrestlers. I fly them into Sioux Falls. I've been doing that for our local pro wrestling organization. And then I'm a big nerd. So I do my SuperCon here in town, and I watch Disney Plus and all the Marvel and Star Wars I can get. And then just spend time with my family and kids and my goal, I never got to travel as a kid. I grew up with very little money, and I didn't leave the country until I was 18, I think, or 19. And so that's my big thing is I want to get my kids to see the world, hopefully. So
that's fantastic. So speaking of that, what's on your family bucket list? Where's the place that if you could go right now and take them, where would it be?
The Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana I just love that resort. I think it's the most beautiful. Now, I don't know how the hurricane treated it. I heard it was a little banged up, but that's where I would go. I've showed them the water slides in Lazy River about 1 million times. So that's where we are going. We just got to get there.
Super. And where is your favorite destination that you've had the opportunity to visit personally?
See, I'm a beach guy, but my best trip ever was Ireland. I loved Ireland. I think everybody should go. I'm a huge proponent of it. I barely spent any money. I got to go on a Game of Thrones tour in the
cool.
Northern Woods.
That would be cool.
It's just and you can just go pub to pub and have a good time at night too. And the food was outstanding. Yeah, I love Ireland.
That's fantastic. Well, hey, Tyson, I really appreciate you making time. I know your agency is really busy lately. So I appreciate you making time for us here. Love to have you back at some point in the future. And if anybody's watching, check out Tyson's website, Sioux Empire Travel. Tyson, what's the web address?
Yeah, SiouxEmpireTravel.com. And then we're on Instagram, Sioux Empire Travel, Facebook. And then I have a booking and cooking. So I like to cook food, so I show that with some things that I'm booking too. So
cool. Booking and cooking. I love that.
Booking and cooking, yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us. All right, let's kick it back over.
Booking and cooking. So I'm not booking right now, but I am cooking here in Georgia. So Tyson, I adore you. Just my notes that I took from your interview, $30 trade show setup or booth setup or free at golf courses. Hello, no excuse to give that a go. I love that you have that strategy to build the specialists in different types of travel. I think that's so cool. But you know what I think, and I saw this in the comments too. I think Jello shots. Jello shots. I feel like when we do kind of a blueprint of business success, we need like Tyson's Jello shot formula in the mix. I'm just saying, it's just an idea. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that. But I noticed Andy picked up on the Jello shots. He said noted. Jello shots. I love it. I love it. So if you haven't been interacted with Tyson, either in members only Facebook group or met him at Travel Quest World or any of our events, you gotta, if he's there, you gotta come and meet him because he's just a super human, and I know so many of you feel the same way about him. All right, we'll get out of the Tyson love fest here. So this is the time, and let's see, is Velma here? Oh, Velma is here. All right, so this is the time in the weekly chatter when we like to talk about what's been going on in sales over the last week. So we bring in another favorite person of mine, Velma Tolson, our group manager. Hey, Velma, how are ya?
Hey, Joshua, how are you?
I'm good. You know what? Are you booking and cooking in Texas?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I can believe it. I can believe that. Now I'm gonna hand over the reins so you can talk about sales. But I also know that you've got a couple of events coming up next week that you might want to talk about as well. So I'm gonna hand the floor over to you.
Okay, before you do, you went away.
I'm back.
You're back. Hello. Before you do, I just want to say that I still don't have props. I know you want me to get some props in here, and I just don't have anything in my house that I could shake that would make a noise other than my dog and my husband, and that wouldn't be very pleasant. So I did find these little Chinese. I got these in Beijing, these little musical balls, but that's not. I don't know. That might put people to sleep. So anyway.
Please,
I'm still working on that.
You know what? The chimes work. The chimes work.
Okay.
So we got that. All right. Take it away, Velma.
Okay. Well, it was another great week in revenue for our members. And, I've had some people ask me, is it the same people all the time? No, it's not. We have almost every week, someone else in this group is just doing a fabulous job and bringing in lots of revenue for themselves. So for this week, I'm going to give the numbers, and then I want to highlight the suppliers that were sold this past week because it's very impressive. And that's another question I get. What's everyone else selling? And if they're selling that, I bet I could too. And you can. Anyone can sell these suppliers. So here we go. In the number 3 spot, $15,389. That's not sales, that's revenue. Woohoo! Okay, so 15,389. In the number 2, 17,647. And then this is going to take kind of a big jump here. The number 1, oh, let me just do my little thing here. Okay. Okay. I'm a nerd too, and I'm allowed to do things like that. Okay. In the number 1 spot, $32,403. Wow. Wow. In 1 week. Can you believe that? I can. So, what did they sell? What makes up all these numbers? Well, first of all, our members sell a lot of Viking Ocean or Viking River. And if you ever sell one and see the commission on just one sale, you'll know why people are going after this business. And if you haven't, do the river cruise training and ask questions. Reach out to me. I have sold a bit of Viking River, and I have to tell you, it's quite simple because this is one of those suppliers you call, and they have great res agents that will help you and walk you through the steps. So please go for it. We also, this week, we had a lot of AMA waterways that were sold. Delta Vacations, which is one of my favorites. We had a great presentation by Matt this week from Delta. Unique Vacations, that's the sandals. A lot of sandals is selling. United Vacations, Celebrity, Ponnet Cruise Line. I was a little surprised at that, but yeah, we've had in the commissions obviously are very good with that cruise line. Regent Seven Seas, Silver Seas, and G Adventures. If you have not sold them, look into that. They're very unique. I've sold them for people going to Alaska, and they pretty much do everything in Alaska except skin a whale and get blubber from it. I mean, really, you really get into the experience when you go with them to a destination. So anyway, that's it for the week.
All right, Thelma. Where to start or stop? I don't know. I wasn't expecting whale blubber to be in the weekly chatter today, but
it brought a vision, didn't it? Didn't you get a vision from that?
Yeah, it's giving me a little bit of fever right now. No, wow, what phenomenal numbers for this week.
I know.
And just to reiterate, guys, the numbers that we report when we do these rankings, these are by individual agents. So they aren't agencies where there are multiple agents that are feeding up into one number. So that's an individual agent's anticipated revenue. So kudos to those of you who ranked in the top 3, but I know, because I looked at the same report, I know there were quite a few that that were very near to the top 3. So business is good right now.
It's very good. It's very good.
Yes. And I loved, guys, if you didn't get a chance to watch Velma's presentation with Matt from Delta Vacations, it is now up on episodes in the Pro portal, so you can go and watch that. And definitely, Matt's always so much fun. I know you had a good time with him.
Oh, I did. He was so prepared too. I was very impressed. When his internet just kind of went out on him, he's like, okay, let's go to PowerPoint. I was very impressed with that. He just kept right on going. Loved that.
Yeah, and I just got to see him at our roadshow in Atlanta. So he's made the rounds, and he was in London too before that. So he's had a busy week, but he made time for Travel Quest Network in there.
Yes. Oh, I'm a little jealous. I would love to be in London. That sounds good.
Apparently there was a Vikings game. I think that's like baseball or something. I'm saying that for our Jason, because he's going to be coming up in a minute, and he knows that. I do know that that's football. I believe they wear purple. I think that's how I know them.
You know what?
Anyway.
You could tell me anything unless it was about the Cowboys, and I would believe it. I do know the Cowboys. I do know that. Yeah.
I love it. Well, Velma, thank you so much for joining us as always. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Oh my goodness. Is Velma not a hoot? That's all I can say. Like, she's a hoot. So anyway, guys, I know I've been ignoring the chat for a moment, so let me come back to it and see what's going on before we move on. Oh my goodness, gosh, you guys were really excited about Tyson being on. So Tyson, just know that everyone was very, very happy to see your interview. Amy is joining us from the Prima inaugural. The Prima is now around the states now, making its way, doing some inaugurals. Amy, so glad that you are getting to experience that. I got to experience it, and it was a gorgeous, gorgeous ship experience. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. Kara said, no one tells Tyson he can't do something. And then Velma said, nobody puts baby in the corner. I love it. Let's see. And Emily, so Tyson and Emily, you two need to get together because Tyson, she wants to know how you plan to structure that having that team that you're looking to build. So this is where the Travel Quest Network connection to the community really comes into play, is when you get to kind of get inspired by maybe someone else's thinking or the way that they've approached their business, and then you can kind of do it a little bit differently, put your own little flavor onto it. Let's see here. And I want to say that, and Tyson, I adore you too. Just before we go over to Jason, I want to say something about Tyson's wife here. And he's heard me say it, and I might have even said it on the show before. But the first time I met Tyson was at the very first Travel Quest World. And I go up to change my outfit. I get in the elevator, and there's a woman in the elevator, and I kind of acknowledge her, and then I turn to the doors closing on me. And then all of a sudden, there's this pause, and then she says, you know my husband. And I felt like we were going to have a full-on Jerry Springer moment. I was like, what? And then she explained that it was Tyson. So anyway, I'm always going to remember that as the moment that I was sweating in an elevator thinking that someone busted me on something that I hadn't done. So anyway, there. I love to give you the random stories. I hope that they don't stick with you. I hope you don't remember those, and that's the only thing that you remember when you think about me. Anyway, moving right along, I'm going to bring in Jason, CEO of Travel Quest Network, the one who was just here. Hey. Yeah, you don't even have to tell me what you're laughing at. There was a few things there that
I don't even know how to respond to that, Joshua.
To the Vikings being in baseball, or
no,
to Tyson's wife. I'm
it's
telling
a
you,
soccer team. Everybody knows that.
Is it? Oh, is it soccer? That's right. Or football, as the rest of the world calls it. Yeah, no, it really was. I was sweating bullets. In like those few seconds, I was thinking, no, I don't know your husband at all. Anyway, it's good to see you, Jason. How have you been?
You too.
How have you been?
Well, I've been doing great. How about you?
Yeah, can't complain. And you got to talk to Tyson today, so you're cooler than I am.
I feel pretty privileged. He's great. He's fun.
He is. He's it's interesting because he's had such a story, and then to follow him on Instagram, which I highly recommend you guys do. You do see all those community events. He takes pictures of every single booth that he does, and he's been doing it ever since he started his business. So
I gotta say, since I heard it, I can't stop thinking about booking and cooking. Booking and cooking. That's just like the coolest thing.
Do you know what? Maybe we should do a cooking show where it's also where we talk about booking. Did we just steal that idea from Tyson?
Yeah, I think that's it.
We'll leave it with you, Tyson. We're not stealing it. Oh my goodness. Well, so you are bringing us the headlines. This is guys. If you've been pretty much heads down all week, slammed, like some of you just in the chat talking about how business is taken off. I mean, so many leads. You might have missed some of the news. So Jason is doing the heavy lifting for us. He's going to go and give us some headlines. So what's been going on in the world?
It's been a little quiet this week, but a few interesting things of note. I think. I mean, the airline industry is definitely still in focus, and I want to get this name right. There's this think tank out there, and it's called the American Economic Liberties Project. They proposed some new legislation, so it's not actual legislation. It's just here's what we think would make good legislation. But basically, what it aims to do is it aims to take the airline industry from under the thumb of the Department of Transportation, which pretty much is the sole regulator over the airlines, and subject them to the Federal Trade Commission, subject them to the Department of Justice, and most notably, give consumers the ability to bring an action against airlines. So it's a continuation of some momentum. Trying to create additional accountability, transparency, and when we think about the standards that advisors are held to when it comes to working with clients, the reality is that airlines aren't held to that even the same standard that we are. So it's it's certainly kind of this momentum thing. So we'll see where it goes. It's not I don't think there's anything imminent there, but it's, I think I wouldn't be surprised over the coming years to see, more action to force certain behaviors and disclosures and things like that in the airline space.
That's interesting.
Which I think is probably good. It's probably good for all of us. So I know sometimes we get a little worried about, what kind of disclosures are we as advisors going to be required to make? But as I think I said last week, my belief is that cooler heads and common sense will prevail as we get closer to some of the things that the Department of Transportation is thinking about. But even more broadly than that, I think it's probably a good move for consumer protection for the airline industry to be a little more accountable.
Yeah, no, I think that's good, and it takes these little moves for things to happen, and you just gotta stay tuned, right?
That's right. Now, something a little more practical. I saw something that caught my eye. MSC, who we all know, the cruise line, they're going to have 5 ships in the U.S. The winter of the 23-24 season, which is the most they've had in the U.S. market ever. And as I read that, we talk about MSC from time to time, right? And different people have different experiences with their product. And I couldn't help but think, wow, okay, here's a company that has deep pockets, right? I mean, MSC Shipping, huge company, really deep pockets. And as they're bringing product into the U.S., I just can't help but think they're playing a really long game here. And they're just trying to get more of the U.S. consumer to taste their product. And I'm sure they want some short-term wins, but I truly think they're, unlike some of the other cruise lines who are publicly traded companies. This is a company I think that really is thinking in terms of decades, not quarters. And so it'd be interesting to see what the consumer adoption is, what the advisor adoption of their product continues to be. But they are trying to make some noise.
Well, I'd love to know from the people who are tuning in live right now, what has your experience been with MSC? Is it a product that you have in your portfolio? Have you experienced it for yourself? Definitely share that.
Yeah, and I'm especially curious, like if it is in your portfolio, what types of clients do you go to that product to recommend? So I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So what else?
Okay, so here's something interesting. So Uniworld, river cruise operator, they are saying in 2023 they're going to do 2 mystery river cruises. Now,
what?
Is somebody
going to die on it? Like, is it going to be like a murder mystery?
No, it's not a murder mystery. It's a mystery itinerary, right? So we have one of our very successful member agencies who kind of specializes in that surprise and mystery kind of travel.
Yes.
But I'm very curious with our network here. Would you personally go on a mystery trip? Would you sell a mystery trip? Like, is that something that you would look to place clients on? I mean, the announcement was, backed by popular demand, but there's only 2 dates. So I'm just curious, like, what does everyone think about, the idea of an $8,000 mystery trip? What do you think, Joshua? Would you go on a mystery trip?
Do you know what? I probably would, because especially like a river cruise, because I feel like it would be I'm taken care of. I've got my room. I got my cabin. Sorry, not my room. And so I'm set. And if they're promising me a mystery tour, I think that they'd pull out all the stops. I think there might be things that
That would be my expectation too. That it would be even if the normal product is here, it would be shooting for up here.
Yeah, like I feel like when you find out what river you're on or whatever, if you had been on that before, it would be a completely different experience. So that would be my take, and I hope that they would deliver on that. But that would be my assumption. But my first, when you say a mystery tour, was totally like the Scooby-Doo. You never know. The villain is like Phyllis Diller or something like that. Yeah, that's where my brain went to first.
Now that'd be fun too. That'd be fun too. I don't think that's what this is.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it is. I don't feel like it fits the brand.
I'm torn. I'm torn. Like the best experiences in travel are the things where you just stumble upon them. But I kind of like to know. I don't really like surprises, so I'm torn. I'm sure it'd be so much fun. I don't know. That's a tough one. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Not to belabor the topic, but part of going on a river cruise is the excursions and planning out. Are you gonna be the active adventure person? Are you gonna stroll the cobblestone streets? What is it you're gonna do? Well, if it's a mystery tour, you don't know. So anyway, stay tuned on that one.
I'm just kind of glancing at the comments here.
Yeah.
And, obviously, but almost by definition, we have an audience of planners, right? People who like to have a plan. So it's interesting that those that would jump in and be like, yep, I'll try it out. But that's pretty cool. Others not so much.
Just guys going through the comments here. Angela said, I'd totally go on a mystery trip. Tyson said, nope. Ellen said, I'd go. Kara, she said, heck yes, I would. Cynthia said, I'd go. Hannah said, I can't say I would go on a mystery trip because I am a planner.
Right.
And then our Velma said, as long as it's magical. The magical mystery tour is waiting to take you away. Right. Oh my goodness.
All right, so here's something else. Yes. We obviously, might not be the first product we look to send the client to, but we do sell a lot of, collectively at least, a lot of Las Vegas. So I saw that the Wynn is coming out with a new show called Awakening, and it launches early November. But they built a new theater for it, and it's 360 degrees. So it's got a whole bunch of video boards and all that, but the stage actually encompasses the audience, and the performers are all around you. And the theater holds about, I think, 1,600 seats, but no seat is more than 75 feet from the stage. I was like, well, that sounds pretty cool. So if you have clients who are going to Vegas and want something new, if you didn't see that, that seems pretty cool. So they'll be at the Wynn in November.
I'm always curious about Vegas and the hotels in Vegas, because all your competition is so densely populated. It's right there. And how do you innovate? And then, like, I'll watch an old James Bond movie where they were, it was in the 60s and they were in Las Vegas. And I was like, oh, they've come a long way, baby.
Right. For sure. Okay, last thing. I keep seeing things in the trade press, well, and everywhere really, about TikTok, right? And I obviously my three children are on TikTok, I think 24/7. But I'm wondering. I want to ask you, Joshua, is TikTok like the latest social buzzword platform that we all have to be on tomorrow, or are travel buyers really consuming content on TikTok? So what's your take? What's your verdict?
So my take is yes. There is a group of people. I mean, I think you're looking at generationally that TikTok is there, and it is a style of entertainment that if you can embrace it and have fun with it, that audience is definitely there to engage with. And I think it's really, Instagram kind of sits in the middle because they've tried to incorporate some of the same things with their reels. So
Yeah.
within the more comfortable platforms of Facebook and Instagram that kind of are together, you can use the Business Manager platform there and work in both. You do have that opportunity to create that content, but TikTok, people spend hours. They get in like TikTok rabbit holes. And now, have you ever done that?
No, I have
You
not.
you haven't
I'm
done
not
it.
a TikToker.
Well, I think some of these things, people are very, very clever. I'm not a TikToker, and I don't know that that's what they're called, but we're going to go with that.
I just made myself sound so old.
But what I am seeing with some of our members too, who have embraced TikTok and Reels, who Instagram loves, and Facebook too loves when you embrace with a new component or a feature
Right.
that is not as adopted, because stories for a long time it took a long time for stories to really take off, and I didn't even get it. I was like, why would you want to do a story? Why wouldn't you want it to be in your newsfeed? And there are people that just let stories run, that just let reels who just let reels run, or you can just stay on a TikTok rabbit hole. But I see people who are seeing maybe influencers or entertainers who are using these platforms, and then they're figuring out ways to sell travel through that content, and it's highly digestible. One of our members did a whole thing on how to get physically fit for a trip where you're going to be doing a lot of walking and but made it fun. Did it as a fun, quick video, and I thought that was really clever. What a great way! It's entertainment. So I think you have to look at it that you're not really selling, you're entertaining. So that would be my take on it.
All right, very good, very good. So that's the news for the week.
So I think big news for the week is I think you're going with a bunch of our members on the Diamond Voyage.
That's right. We depart on next Tuesday. So we'll have a group, including a few of our travel partners, a group of 40 of us. So that will be really cool. I'm really excited about it. I know we've been messaging a little bit with those that are going to be in attendance, and we're looking at all the details to make sure it's going to be a great trip. But I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And guys, if you are not going on the Diamond Voyage, please make sure you are following our secret hashtag #TQInTravel. And then that means that whenever anybody from the Diamond Voyage posts a photo of the group having a great time, you'll get to see it in your feed. And then I would suggest anybody that you saw their picture and you were like, oh, they look like they're having a good time, follow your fellow members. You'll get inspired. So I'm not gonna lie. I am missing out on this one. So I'm a little.
And we're gonna miss you. I wish you were able to come, but
I
will be more.
I feel like I'm just going to make a lot of nonsense videos and put them out there and be like, wishing I was there on the Diamond Voyage, and people will worry about me a little bit and maybe take pity on me. Oh my goodness. Well, Jason, I'm going to go over to the chat before we wrap up the show, because we have had a lot of people. Man, this is fantastic. Oh my goodness, we've got lots of comments here. Hold on a second. All right, so going back to the mystery tour, our Amy said, how do you know what to pack? Not sure I could handle not knowing. Amy, knowing you, I feel like just pack black outfits. I didn't know that Amy was known for her black outfits. So just go with that. Have some warm and have some cool. You never know. Let's see. And Rebecca said, I do mystery trips. It was what I originally was going to specialize in when I first started, but morphed into doing more Hawaii. But I definitely do them and do them with different levels of mystery. Uh, I feel like you can't end your comment with just that. I mean,
I
now we're
know.
all
Do
intrigued.
tell.
Yeah. Let's see. She said. So, kind of in response to Amy, she said, when I do mystery trips for clients, I send them details for what they should pack and what the weather is anticipated to be and their destination too. That's pretty smart. I mean, that does make sense. You don't want to end up packing a bikini and end up in Iceland.
Right.
Although I feel like they can accommodate you. Let's see. So Cynthia, talking about Las Vegas, she said the best show I have ever seen was Phil Collins in the Round 360 at MGM. I feel like that was probably an amazing concert.
That would be. I bet it was. I bet that was really good.
And Cynthia, also on your TikTok headline, she said Travel Weekly Report just did a fantastic webinar on TikTok. TikTok is a must. So, Cynthia, now I'm curious. Are you on the TikTok? And if you are, drop your handle so we can all follow you. Let's see how you're TikToking. I really feel like that was a dad joke there. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so she said she has over 15,000 in views in a few short months on TikTok. And
Right?
so think about that. People just let TikTok run, or they let stories run, or reels run. You never know where you're going to end up in that feed, and how you're going to be introduced to somebody who would have never crossed your path. So embrace these new either new platforms or new components. Let's see. So Andy's saying that NCL believes TikTok is important. On the upcoming inaugural out of Galveston on the Prima, they are not allowing any streaming to social media except on TikTok. I want to know how that goes. So Andy, you gotta fill us in on that. I don't know. Is somebody sitting in an office somewhere, or a cabin somewhere on that ship, and they're like, uh-oh, that was an Instagram live stream. Nope, sorry, you can't. It's not going through. But TikTok, yes. Look forward to seeing it. All right, let's see. All right, and so Cynthia shared with us her TikTok handle is Worldwide Destinations Travel. So everybody go check it out. I am definitely going to do that. And kind of going back to the mystery tour to kind of round up our comments here. Rebecca said, I allow clients to do what they feel comfortable with for mystery, such as total mystery, or they pick the destination or a few destinations they are interested in, and the rest is planned in a veil of mystery. Love it. Man, I feel like, Jason, since I didn't get to go on the Diamond Voyage with you, you and I need to go on a mystery tour. You know,
Isn't every day a mystery tour though, Joshua?
you know what? We do try here. We definitely do. All right. Well, hey, listen, have a fantastic time. I know
I'm
that
excited.
there's going to be a little bit of time difference, but you're going to be doing some special things with our members while you're away for next week's weekly chatter. So looking forward to that. Yeah,
Me too.
I hope you have a grand time. And thank you as always for joining the show, I mean, I like the new format of the show. If you guys are liking the new format where you get to meet some of our members and hear their story, please let us know. Or if there's any type of segment that you'd like us to include in the weekly chatter, please let us know in the comments. We would definitely love the feedback. We know you have a good time in the weekly chatter. That's what we live for. So definitely let's keep it going and keep it fresh. For all of you that joined us live, thank you very much. If you joined us on demand, again, thank you very much. And please tune in next week, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for the next weekly chatter. So until then, I'm Joshua, and that is... Oops, am I pointing at the right way? Who are you? That's Jason.
Oh, me, yeah. I'm Jason. Wow.
I was trying to point, and my pen was really not doing a good job. So until next time, take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. See you real soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.